This is the lecture 3 of the wonderful series on mechanics in physics. In the previous video lecture, we had discussed about the types of motions. All types of motions we explained. If you are a beginner, I suggest you to watch the previous 2 video lectures. In today's lecture, we will explain all the equations of motion, and our main focus will remain on these terms, distance, displacement, speed, velocity and accelerations. We will discuss all these in details. I start with an example. In any kind of motion, there are 4 situations arises. And what are those 4 situations? I will explain one by one. The first situation is when there is no change in the direction of motion and no change in the speed. Means the body is moving in a fixed direction with a constant speed. First situation, fixed direction of motion is fixed plus speed is constant speed. This is the simplest kind of motion in which speed is constant and direction is fixed. Then there will be no difference between average speed, instantaneous speed. I will explain the difference between the two. There will be no difference between velocity and average velocity, instantaneous velocity. No difference between speed and velocity as well, because the direction is fixed. The body is moving, suppose, from point A to point B. Now, in every time interval, howsoever small it may be, the distance traveled by the body is same. Suppose in first second, it is going like this, from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. In every second, it is covering a distance of 1 meter. In every second, suppose the body is covering a distance of 1 meter. We will call the speed of the body is 1 meter per second. Distance and displacement are also same. So we call the velocity of the body is also 1 meter per second. At any instant of time, suppose at t is equal to 5 seconds, the body will have the speed of 1 meter per second, velocity of 1 meter per second. We call it instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity. And during these 5 seconds, from t is equal to 0 to 5 seconds, again the total distance or displacement is 5 meter. Average speed is also 1 meter. Average velocity is also 1 meter. This is the simplest type in which there is no change in direction and no change in speed. For the beginner, I suggest you to watch the previous 2 lectures and you can have a tight grip on this kinematics. So this is the first case. Now next is direction is fixed but speed is variable. Velocity will not remain constant, this velocity. There are 2 factors which decide the state of motion of a body. What are those 2 factors? The first is direction and second is instantaneous speed. These are the 2 factors which decides every kind of motion. First is direction. We should know the direction of motion of body. And second factor is instantaneous speed. These 2 factors are very important to judge, to decide what kind of motion is it. So in this first case, direction is fixed, speed is fixed. So means instantaneous speed, average speed, everything will be same. But in the second category, direction is fixed direction, but the speed is variable. Here speed is variable. Now there are 2 situations arises again. Speed is variable, but is it varying uniformly or non-uniformly? If speed is varying uniformly, increasing or decreasing, it may increase or it may decrease, uniformly changing, and second is non-uniformly. If this change in the speed is uniform, then we can call there is an acceleration which is constant. So here acceleration will be constant. Acceleration is constant. So constant acceleration. And all the equations of motions, you know, there are 3 to 4 equations of motions. They are valid only when this acceleration is constant. In non-uniform change in the speed, all the equations of motion are not valid. For that we have to use the approach of integration methods. That will be discussed in the next lectures or in the next level. So we will confine our lecture up to this only for constant accelerations. Now here direction is already fixed, the speed is varying. If the speed is increasing uniformly, we call it acceleration. If speed is decreasing uniformly, we call it retardation, or you can call it negative acceleration. So here the instantaneous speed is not equal to average speed. That is different. I take an example. Suppose there is a free fall of a body. Free fall of body. So this is the example for this second case. Direction is fixed, but speed is variable. And speed is increasing uniformly. In every second, the speed is increasing by 9.8 meter per second. Suppose this is a ball and it is falling freely in vacuum, or you can say there is no air resistance. We can call gravity is acting on it and its speed will increase. Direction will remain fixed, speed will increase. In the initially it is u is equal to 0, means initial velocity is 0. After every seconds at t is equal to 0, initial velocity is 0. At t is equal to 1 second, its speed becomes 9.8 meter per second. In the next second, after t is equal to 2 seconds, its speed becomes double of it, that is 19.6 meter per second. In this way, the speed goes on increasing. I can call it the body is accelerating. Then equations of motion are valid. So direction is fixed and speed is variable. Here speed is increasing. Now if I throw a ball upward from the ground, this is the reverse case. Speed is decreasing, but up to the maximum height the direction is fixed. When it reaches the maximum height, then direction is also reversed. So in case of accelerated motion, the direction remains same and speed keep on increasing. But when there is a retardation, direction may also change. When it is gaining maximum height, or you can say the speed of the body becomes 0, after that it changes its direction, then speed will increase. When it will reach the maximum height, the final velocity will be 0, but after that it take a about turn and speed will increase. But the most important point here is that velocity is not same. In this case, the speed is increasing, velocity is also increasing, and in this case the speed is decreasing, velocity is also decreasing. But when it is taking a about turn, it is coming downward, velocity becomes negative. So velocity goes on decreasing continuously. From ground to top, velocity is decreasing, and from top to ground, velocity is further decreasing. This is the difference. In case of speed is decreasing from ground to top and increasing from top to ground when body is coming down. But in case of velocity, I further reminded, the velocity is continuously decreasing because velocity depends upon the direction of motion. So here the direction of motion is changed at the topmost point, and velocity, you know, that is rate of change of displacement. Velocity is rate of change of displacement, that is displacement upon time. So in this case, during upward journey of the ball, the velocity is decreasing, and during downward journey is also decreasing, continuously decreasing. So we have to take the value of acceleration, that is due to gravity, always minus 9.8 meter per second square. I have taken the upward direction as positive. In that case, acceleration will be minus 9.8 meter per second, independent of the body is moving upward or downward. So this is the difference between speed and velocity here. Now next is when the direction is also changing. Speed is constant, direction is changing, that is the third case. I take the third case. Here speed fixed, there is direction is changing, variable direction, but constant speed. This is the third case. In this situation, the body may be moving in a circular path with a constant speed, that may be uniform circular motion, this one. If the body is moving in a circular track with a constant speed, v, speed is constant, but direction is continuously changing. Sometimes direction is not continuously changing, direction is changing after a fixed interval of time, that is oscillatory motion. If direction is continuously changing, that is circular motion. So all these kinds of motion in which direction is changing, velocity can never remain constant. Velocity is variable, and whenever there is a change in velocity, there will be acceleration. So except this first case, in all these two cases, acceleration is non-zero. In the first case, in this case, acceleration is 0, a is 0. I denote acceleration by a. So in the first case only, acceleration is 0. This is non-accelerated motion, the first case, when there is no change in direction and speed. This is the non-accelerated motion. Now in the second case, speed is varying, so velocity is obviously varying, so that's why this is accelerated case. Third one is again speed is constant, no acceleration due to speed, but there is an acceleration due to change in direction. So that's why this is also accelerated motion. So next is finally fourth and last type, that is both are variable, variable direction and variable speed. Variable direction plus variable speed. This is an example in which we switch on the fan. During that, it accelerates, its speed is also increasing, and direction of the blades of the fan continuously changing like this. When we switch off the fan, the direction continuously changing and speed is decreasing. So that is the case. So in this case, there are two kinds of acceleration. Acceleration may be due to change in speed only, acceleration may be due to change in direction only, and in this last case, acceleration is doubly due to change in speed as well as change in directions. So two kinds of acceleration arises. First, when there is a change in speed, you can say acceleration is due to change in speed. Such kind of acceleration is called tangential acceleration. So here the body moving on a circular track with a variable speed. Here v is variable. If the speed is variable, then it will have an acceleration tangentially. That acceleration is at, denoted by at, tangential acceleration. When the direction continuously varying, so there is one more acceleration towards the center, that is called centripetal acceleration. So these are the two kinds of acceleration, tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration. In the third case, here constant speed, it means in this third case, this tangential acceleration will be 0. Here at will be 0. But AC will not be equal to 0. What will be the value of AC? That we will discuss in the next lectures. So in the second case, direction is fixed. So here there will be no centripetal acceleration. AC will be 0. No acceleration due to direction means direction is constant. So acceleration is, centripetal acceleration is 0, but speed is variable. So there will be tangential acceleration. You can call it tangential acceleration is not equal to 0. And in this case, none of the acceleration exists. So both are 0. This is non-accelerating motion, and all these three kinds, rest of these are accelerated motion. Accelerated motions. And if the change in direction or speed that is uniform, then acceleration is constant. We are concerned with the constant acceleration of motion only in this case, and we can derive the equation of motion for constant accelerations. So for that we can define now acceleration. So what is acceleration? Acceleration, you know, acceleration is defined as acceleration, that is the rate of change of velocity, change in velocity upon time taken. This is the proper definition for acceleration, rate of change of velocity, or you can call it time rate of change of velocity. And in other words, I can write it mathematically, A is equal to V minus U upon T. T is time taken. So here I am taking this this second case only. In first case there is no change in speed, so acceleration is 0. In the second case, if direction is fixed and speed is varying, so I can take, suppose U is the initial speed, and I can also write it velocity because I have fixed the directions. So there is no harm in writing U as initial speed or initial velocity, both are correct. Initial speed or initial velocity, because direction is fixed, and V is here final speed or final velocity, and T is the time taken. So the first equation of motion is derived, that is V is equal to U plus AT. Very popular equation, that is V is equal to U plus AT. This is the first equation of motion. So I am rewriting this equation here. V is equal to U plus AT. This one. So this equation is valid for a particular direction. I have fixed the direction. So this equation is valid along one dimension. This is also valid for two dimensions. But we have to take different directions, like we will apply this equation separately along x-axis, separately along y-axis. Suppose a body is moving in a straight line, but not along x-axis, not along y-axis, that is moving in a plane. As we have discussed in the type of motion, there are three types of motion based upon the dimensions: one-dimensional motion, two-dimensional motion, three-dimensional motion. Suppose a body is moving in a plane and it is moving in a straight line. It is a rectilinear motion, but it is two-dimensional motion because the body is moving from point O to P, but it is also moving from O to this point along x-axis by distance x. It is also covering some distance along y-axis y, and total distance is, you can say, displacement. Total distance and displacement, if it is actually moving in this straight path, then distance and displacement will be same. So that will be equal to x square plus y square under the root. So if I use this equation along x-axis, I can write it Vx is equal to ux plus ax into t. If I have to use it along y-axis, I will write it Vy is equal to uy plus ay into t. We can use this equation of motion for two dimensions separately. So this is the first equation of motion. Now the second equation. When velocity of the body is constant, then it's very easy to calculate the displacement. You know, velocity is displacement upon time. If the velocity is constant, I have taken the fixed direction case, so speed is constant, then displacement will be simply velocity into time. It's very simple. Displacement will be equal to velocity multiplied by time. velocity into time. But in case of equation of motion, acceleration is constant, so velocity is variable. So here when velocity is variable, then we have to calculate the displacement. This displacement is also changing with change in velocity. If velocity is increasing due to change in speed, increase in speed, then displacement is also changed. So I take the two time interval, same time interval. Suppose in the first time interval t, the velocity of the body is u. Then the displacement covered by the body during this time interval is velocity into time, that is u into t. Now in the next time interval, these time interval are very short. So in the next time interval t, the speed of the body is v, you can say final velocity is v. Then again the displacement of the body is velocity into time, that will be v into t. So I will add it, this is the total displacement by the body. And if I divide the displacement by time, that is average velocity. You know average velocity of a body, average velocity is equal to total displacement upon total time. This is the general formula to calculate the average velocity. So these time intervals t are very short. So in this case the total displacement is ut plus vt divided by total time is t plus t, and we can simply write it u plus v by 2. So we call it v average. So v average, if the time intervals are same, then v average can be taken as u plus v by 2. If time interval is not same, then we cannot take v average as u plus v by 2. In that case, the v average will be different, that I will discuss in a separate case. Now, how to derive the second equation of motion? So I will use here v average because velocity is variable. So I will use here v average, and then displacement is denoted by s. It can be along x-axis, then we can write it by x only. If it is along y-axis, we can write it with y only. So generally it is denoted by s. I have taken fixed direction. So time is, total time is suppose t. So what will be the displacement of the body? So I can write it s is equal to v average into t, and I have just calculated v average is u plus v by 2 into t. Now putting the value of v from first equation, v is equal to u plus at, so I can write it u plus, substituting this value, u plus at, this whole divided by 2 and further multiplied by t. On calculating, you will end up with this equation ut plus half at square. This is the second equation of motion, but I remind it, this is valid only when this acceleration is constant. This should be constant. If that is, there is a first case, no change in speed, no change in direction, this acceleration is 0, then displacement is simply again u into t, means initial velocity will be the final velocity, same, no change. So this is displacement is equal to velocity into time. That will be very simple, first case only. So if you have to derive the third equation of motion, there is a little bit change. In the same case, I have to eliminate the time. These two equations have the time factor involved, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. If time is given to you, then we have to use either 1 or 2. If time is not given, then we have to eliminate this time, and I can write it in this way. I have to substitute the value of t, and I know from the first equation acceleration is change in velocity upon time taken. So that value of t will be v minus u upon a. Substituting this value of t here, so this is u plus v by 2, and then t will be v minus u by 2 a, sorry, this is a, and on further calculating using a minus b, a plus b formula, that is v square minus u square upon 2a, and we get v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Very wonderful result. This is third equation of motion. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. The second equation of motion can be rewritten in the another form. That will be the fourth equation of motion. That is S is equal to Vt minus half at square. This is also correct. Instead of you are given initial velocity, suppose you are given final velocity and you have to calculate the displacement, time is given, then we can directly use it. S is equal to Vt minus half at square. This is the fourth equation of motion, and that can be proved from this equation. You know S is equal to ut plus half at square. If I substitute the value of u from the first equation, you know u is equal to v minus at. Replacing u by v minus at using equation 1 into t plus half at square, this will be Vt minus at square plus half at square, and we can write it Vt minus half at square. So this is alternate form of the second equation of motion. So these are the very important three equations of motions and valid only when acceleration is constant. Now I take few examples to make it more clear. Suppose we have a carom board and there is a striker placed at the center, and we flick it in such a way that it strikes some section of this boundary here and ultimately fall in the corner of the carom board like this. This is the carom board of square shape. The side of the carom board is suppose A. This is A, square in shape. This striker placed exactly at the center of the carom board is flicked with the finger and it strike the boundary somewhere. We are not sure where it will strike, but ultimately this striker, after reflecting from the surface, fall inside this corner. We have to calculate the average speed, average velocity, total displacement and total distance covered by the body and instantaneous speed. You know, suppose this is moving with a speed u. This is moving with a speed u. After reflection, suppose the collision is elastic, this is also moving with a speed u. Now what will be the final displacement? The final displacement will be this one, and it can be calculated very easily. You know, this distance is a by 2 and this is also a by 2. This is a by 2 and this is also a by 2, half length of this side of the carom board. So this final displacement S will be, that is a by 2 whole square plus a by 2 whole square under the root. It means root 2 into a by 2. This is the total displacement. But if you have to calculate the distance traveled by this striker, then I mark it with point O, and this point is suppose A and this point is suppose B. Now the distance from A to B can also be calculated. If I have to calculate the average velocity of the body, I need this displacement, total displacement. You know, average velocity is equal to total displacement upon total time taken. The body is, the striker is moving with the speed u and again striking back with speed u, then total displacement is, I have calculated, total time taken. How can we calculate the total time? For that I need to find the distance covered from O to A, then from A to B, then I can calculate the time. So how to calculate the distance covered from O to A? O to A, total distance will be OA plus AB. O to A, this point, and from A to B, this will be total distance. total distance will be OA plus AB. Then OA can be calculated as this. OA will be equal to OE square plus AE square. OE square plus AE square under the root. You know OE is 1/3 of this length. This OD is half of this side of this carom board, and this OE is 1/3. This is divided into three parts. So 1/3. This is A by 2 into 1 by 3. 1/3 square of this plus AE. This one. This AE is, you know, half of this. That is complete. This is A. So this will be A by 2. This will be A by 2 whole square under the root. If I calculate it, A is taken outside. This will be 1 by 36 plus 1 by 4. And it comes out to be root 10 divided by 6 into A. This is distance from O to A. And what is time taken from O to A? We can calculate time taken. Suppose it is T1, that is OA divided by speed U. So it will be root 10A divided by 6U. So this is time T1. Now I will calculate the distance from A to B, AB. This distance from A to B can be calculated. You know, distance from A to F, this will be 2/3 of this total distance OD, and that will be equal to 2/3 of A by 3. Sorry, this is A by 2. 2/3 of A by 2. This 2 is cancelled out. Square of A by 3. And this distance is A. So square of this and whole under the root. A is taken outside. So this is 1 by 9 plus 1. And this comes out to be root 10A upon 3. Now what is the time taken? Time taken from A to B. Time taken T2. That will be equal to this AB divided by speed U. And you know AB is root 10A upon 3 divided by U, 3U. It will be 3U. So total time will be, you can write total distance is OA plus AB. Total time will be, I am rewriting it here. Total time is T1 plus T2. And total displacement is, we have already calculated, that is root 2A upon 2. And I am substituting the value of T1 and T2. T1 is our, this one, T1. So this is root 2A upon 2 divided by T1, this one. This is root 10A upon 6 plus T2, this one, T2. Root 10A upon 3U. This is also 6U. This is 3U. And we can solve it. This is 10 root 10A is common. So this is root 2A upon 2 root 10 into A. And this will be equal to 1 divided by, this will be equal to 6U is LCM, and this is 1 plus 2. And finally I can write it. This A is cancelled out, and this is 1 by 2. We can write it 1 by 2 root 5. And this will be equal to 6U divided by 3. And further calculating it, so this cancel out on 2, 2 cancel out, and this is U by root 5. This is our answer. U upon root 5. This is the average velocity if the striker strikes to this boundary and fall into the corner of the carom board. This is the average velocity. And you know, average velocity from O to A, that remains same because the speed is constant. So average velocity from O to A and average speed are same, but from O to B finally average velocity is different from average speed or the average velocity from O to A. These are different. Thank you very much.